and we will go racing for the second time this weekend at Misano. 1 and 2 on their toes in the mid-pack. It's a good start by Kirchhofer. It's a good start by Marcello, but he's going to have to slot into the drafts as they run 4 abreast almost in midfield down towards turn 1. Sven Muller way up the curb on the inside as Kirchhofer leads. Marcello is second, Engel is third. A good start by Magnus fourth, but up the inside comes Sven Muller, all up the curb. The Porsche has feistily driven today as it was yesterday, and he's going to get through under braking, is he, for turn 4? Yes. Magnus goes 5th, and in 6th place it's Vincent Abril as they turn up through turn 5 for the first time. Marcello, though, is coming back at Kirchhofer for the race lead as they sprint now along that back straight. And look, Kirchhofer having to go really defensive. Marcello breathing down his neck, tries one side, tries the other. The outside line at turn 8, last of the late breakers. Marcello on the outside here. He's got the inside line for the next corner, but he gets run out wide, and Kirchhofer just hangs on to the lead.
He eased him out, didn't he? Kirchhofer in that McLaren in front just said, no, thank you. I'm not being done around the outside on lap 1. Clean start from Engel. Vince Abril got roughed up. I think it was Matt Stolz that went in the back of him. That went into the back. And look, I think Marcello might go all the way around the outside on the back straight on Kirchhofer,
who is going really defensive to cover off the inside line in the McLaren. Marcello in the BMW getting quicker and quicker and quicker, but again he can only go to the outside line down towards turn 12. Is there a gap up the inside? No. Marvin Kirchhofer closes the door. He's up the curb. Marcello arrives at 14 at the hairpin, crawling all over the back of the curb happy McLaren. Marvin Kirchhofer shortens the line a little bit, doesn't he? At 14 there, way up the curb, through the left at 15. Up towards the end of lap 1, Marcello is the one that goes widest of all there, out of that leading line. But end of lap 1, Marvin Kirchhofer leads in the McLaren. Marcello second. Engel, you're on board with. He's third. Fourth is Sven Muller in the Porsche. In 5th place, coming up towards the line, it is the Gilles Magnus-driven Audi that leads in gold. 6th is Vincent Abril. Then you've got Stolz. Then going through, looking rapid, is Alex Arca heading silver. Kelvin van der Linde is up into 9th place, and 10th is Gachet with Vermeulen down to 11th. Marcello you're riding with, and he did the fastest lap last time through, quicker than the Kirchhofer from the previous lap as the tyres get warmer and the fuel load starts to come down, making the cars that little bit quicker. Marcello again closing up a little under braking. That was where he made his move earlier. Pulcini's off the road at 3, getting back onto the circuit. Then Marco Pulcini losing a lot of ground.
Yeah, huge amount. He's been forced really wide there. He had Salikov just behind him. Was it the Mercedes that roughed him up? We might get a replay of that, but Pulcini has had a brutal couple of laps, and he is really out of the running now already this early on into the race.
Replay of what happened to Pulcini. Comes out of turn 1. This is turn 2, the left-hander.
Just going to listen, see if I can hear any contact. I feel like he lost that himself, but that would be a very strange thing to happen there. So, like I said, that turquoise Mercedes was very close behind as we crossed the line. Couldn't hear any contact, so I'm just going to have to put that down as a driver error for Pulcini. Just looking at the pace here on the graphic, you can see on its ebbs and flow. I just feel Marcello in that BMW can place the car better. He's not having to run wide out the last corner, for example. It isn't just a good race. Look at the view we've got here. This is one of the best racetracks to come to as a spectator.
From Lucas Stolz, who tries the outside line now, and the Mercedes goes all the way around the outside at Corvone. Abril up the inside into turn 12, and he gets the place back absolutely on the ragged edge. Vincent Abril, Stolz trying to switch sides and get up the inside into the hairpin. Bit of damage on the front of that Mercedes, but Neubauer stands his ground as now into the mix as well comes the Audi of Alex Arca and the BMW of Kelvin van der Linde.
Yeah, van der Linde is going to be licking his lips. This hasn't got the pace, but you have the aggression in racecraft, I think, to pick a few off here. I think the damage on Stolz could have even been on the first lap, because I think he went in the back of Abril, who then went in the back of Magnus. So I don't think that's going to be performance limiting yet, but the grille shaking around. The team might want to get rid of that yellow flag in the background, I can see as well.
Race stop. So clearly the incident is a large one, and Niels Wittich, the race director, deciding that to keep things under full course yellow or safety car would just deprive so much race time that we're going to have a stoppage. So the cars will come to the pit lane or to the grid, depending on the instructions of the officials, and that will give everybody time to sort out the dramas. So it is rare that we have a red flag, but all of the stoppage time will be taken into account by race direction, and a plan for the resumption of the race will be offered really once everybody knows how long it's going to take to get the incident sorted. Work out exactly what happened. BMW versus Lamborghini. Number 1, Georgi Donchev, 991 Darren Lung. The Lamborghini spins in a big accident with lots of barrier damage. car destroyed, lots of flames you see, the car spins across the other side of the road, and Gabriel Rindon tried to get through the wreckage and clip the back, but Georgi Donchev out of the car in double quick time, and that is the best news of all. That shows how strong a modern-day GT3 car is. He's a bit singed, I think, the overalls there, but that was a very lucky escape. That's a huge accident, and Georgi Donchev lucky to get out of that. As I say, it shows the strength of the car, and it shows modern safety measures. There is the Porsche that clips it. That was the secondary impact. We'd seen that car stranded. Georgi Donchev, I mean, the car hadn't been at a standstill for more than a couple of seconds before he was getting out like a jackrabbit. Here's another car in strife with its own spin.
It's a Porsche, I'm trying to work out which one, but that was the fastest I've ever seen a driver get out.
Yeah.
Talk about fight or flight. Amazing mental composure there to get the belts undone, to get the window net done, radio out, and I don't know how much contact there was between him and Darren Lung, I think, in the BMW, but that Lamborghini speared into the barrier, and obviously nearly full of fuel at that point, and that ignited scarily quickly.
So that means that we are back racing under green flag conditions. Then race 2 of GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS Sprint Cup, is about to be go then, with 40 minutes on the clock now. We are back racing. The lights go green, and over the timing line goes Marvin Kirchhofer ahead of Marciello, ahead of Engels. Sven Müller not quite as close to the pack as he wanted to be, and coming under pressure from Gilles Magnussen in the Audi, who's almost nibbling at the back of the Porsche coming up to turn 2.
Santalok, the team that had the mechanics out on the grid first, so those tyres hotter than everyone else. Vince Abril behind a huge snap of oversteer before the start line there, and he looks like he's struggling. Stokes behind, and an Audi to the inside. That's defending from Van der Linde. Vermeulen down the inside. Good move on the 111 McLaren.
Gets ahead of Simon Gachet and goes 10th, therefore Thierry Vermeulen buys a place back. Car's accelerating then onto that back straight down towards turn 7, 4.5 minutes before the pit window opens. Do you leave these drivers out to get into a rhythm, or do you bring them in early and put the next driver in for the majority of the race? We'll find out what the teams do, as a big dive there to the inside puts Enrique Chavez through as well. He gets himself up past Simon Gachet, so 2 places lost by the French driver in the McLaren on this lap. Gachet moving from Santalok Audi to CSA McLarens for this year. That is 32 BMW, the championship leading Kelvin van der Linde, to give way to Charles Weerts in the second stint. But up front, Kirchhofer leads, and actually Marciello has not stayed with him on this racing lap as he did on lap 1 from the original start.
No, much more spread out, aren't they?
Well, Mauro Engel did do an absolute best middle sector on his in lap, so he was clearly pushing with clear track space ahead of him. That was the other thing, perhaps. He needed the road to be clear. Right, the Mercedes tyres, 1 more to go. Car controller is ready. Here are the leaders. It's the McLaren ahead of that BMW coming up towards the completion of the lap. The Mercedes AMG ought to be rolling by now, and it has just gone past our window. There it is. So down the pit lane goes Mauro Engel's car. Lucas Auer at the wheel of it. He can't accelerate until he gets to the pit exit line. Look at the queue coming down the pit lane. Here are the leaders then. So where does Lucas Auer blend back in? It is Benji Goethe in the lead. It's Valentino Rossi in second place. There is Patrick Niederhauser's Porsche next up. And where is the Mercedes? It's not going to lead. It's not going to be second. It was third, and it rejoins third, so it didn't lose out, and arguably is fractionally nearer to the BMW. But Auer now has got to stick out his elbows and stop Niederhauser from coming past him. This is going to be a tough lap for a sideways Lucas Auer. Up the curb goes Niederhauser. Lucas Auer has got to defend for all he is worth here, but cometh the hour and all that. Here he is, nose to tail, the Porsche right behind him.
I think Engel's ultimate fastest middle sector, very quick last sector, really saved that there. The undercut normally much stronger.
Chris Lullen in number 69 Ferrari just got into the car. Absolute best sector 1. That's the Red Bull sponsored Ferrari. Is there a big send up the inside by Niederhauser? He goes through into turn 9. Great move, but back up the inside comes Auer. This is a great battle. 2 pros absolutely on the money, and Lucas Auer switching sides back to the inside line. They almost rub. You're on board in the Porsche. On the right hand side, back through goes Lucas Auer, or does he? They are still toe to toe down the back part of the circuit. They do touch, and Lucas Auer says no you don't, and he's back through on the inside. Here is Niederhauser trying to prise open the door. Lucas Auer hangs on to the position. To the inside line comes Niederhauser, but that's the outside line for the next corner. Left at 15, can't do it there. Slots back in, and Lucas Auer not only retakes the place, but also now Alessio Rovere in the Ferrari is right on the back of Niederhauser. Brilliant racing. And the 2 of them, Audi and Ferrari together, turning out of turn 8 now. The run to 9, where you've got there Charles Witz keeping Maxime Martin at bay, and that battle is for 6th and 7th places. Benji Goethe, by the way, not only leading Valentino Rossi, but building the gap, 1.9 seconds.
Yeah, very close to the fastest lap of the race, only half a tenth slower than Lucas Auer's last lap was the fastest we said. That 48 car likes to get going after it burns on fuel. It's doing it already. Is he going to be cruising up to the back of this man, Valentino Rossi? The team probably haven't told him anything about the investigation yet. There's no need for him to be worried of it. The thing he needs to be worried about is his pace right now, losing 4 to 5 tenths of a second of the cars around him.
So the cars then currently are on lap number 19. Valentino Rossi hard at work. Cesar Gazzo, now Aurelian Panis, number 10 Mercedes. You're looking at in a battle here. And at the minute, that car keeping at bay the Gustav Bergström BMW. It's Aurelian Panis at the wheel. So they've had a trade of place. And this is for the lead of silver. So the Mercedes AMG there and the Brooks and VDS team. Aurelian Panis leading silver. Gustav Bergström now drops back into second. And in third in the class, Jamie Day in the Aston Martin. So Mercedes AMG overtakes for the class lead and trying to break away up front. So that was the first drama for Darren Lung. Then Dan Harper in the BMW thumps the tyre, which was over the blue line. That bounces down the pit lane. Now, was that an unsafe release from the team because the wheel was there and bounces down the pit lane, causing drama for others, or was it the other team's fault for leaving it where it was?
In the race director's notes, that blue area counts as the working line. So that's okay for the tyre to be there. What does the race director want Dan Harper to do? Has he got the lock to get round it? Should he wait? It's almost a racing incident between a tyre and a car. Yeah. Did anyone get hurt? No. Could they have? Yes. That's a really difficult decision for me for a car that's already a lap down.
And Dennis Marshall in another delayed car has now done the fastest lap of the race. Last and penultimate are two very quick drivers. Dennis Marshall is last. So just confirmation as you look at this gold battle. It was Dan Harper in 991 who also served that stop-go. So they put him into the car, brought him back in for the stop-go, and then send him back out again so he can carry on with the race. That's why that car is way down, as much as you've got Dennis Marshall delayed after an extra stop because he missed his box and a 30-second penalty to serve as well. So two really quick cars condemned to the back of the order for early race dramas. Up front, the lead gap's down another touch, isn't it? 1.7 between Goethe and Rossi now. Lucas Auer in third place, lapping a little bit quicker last time than the two ahead. Don't rule out that Mercedes AMG as you look there at number 30, Gustav Bergström in the WRT Silver Cup BMW, hustling on after Jamie Day. So Jamie Day has gone through into second in silver. Next target, Aurelian Panis. So they were on the podium yesterday, the Aston Martin drivers. They could be on here for a win. Don't forget that car was on class pole, but did drop away on the first lap. Kobe Pavel's got well and truly roughed up, which is odd for somebody from Rallycross. Normally that's a pretty forceful form of the sport.
Yeah, that 30 BMW, the blue car here, has lost loads of time. Lost 2 places, but Panis must be 2.5, 3 seconds ahead. Harper's cleared all this group. Pepper's trying to do the same as well in a Lamborghini he's not particularly happy with. Speaking to him before the race, doesn't think they've got the pace to get to the front, and I tend to agree with them. All the way down in 14th are Spa 24-hour winners from less than a month ago.
Nose to tail as they come out then of the left of turn 16 over the timing line, and Chris Lullen needs to get on with this. Now we know from previous races that he'll try anyway. He tries non-conventional moves, what you might call sim racing moves. That is his background, esports racing. He was a winner of the 24 Hours of Spa on the iRacing platform a week ago in a BMW of all things, and here he is in the Ferrari all over the back of the Audi. Is he near enough for a move at 4? Not quite. Paul Everard feeling the pressure, but Chris Lullen almost getting hypnotised now. He's had, what, 3 laps, maybe more, staring at the back of that Audi, and Chris Lullen needs to be creative. First time he's raced here, of course, but he needs to be thinking about where he can make a dive. The obvious place is the inside at turn 8, but actually he's not near enough.
No, just lost a bit of time, ran wide in the mid part of 4 and 5. His overtake at Zandvoort was phenomenal, wasn't it? Sweeping around the outside, millimetre perfect, and he might need to move something similar. Think unorthodox, think outside the box. Can you go round the outside somewhere? Can you sell a dummy to Everard? Can you fill his right mirror, then shoot to the left? He loses where you are. You can see some diffuser damage on the rear left of the Audi. That potentially hurting them aerodynamics-wise. Maybe the rear becoming a bit looser as the tyre drops off.
Further back, there is the charging BMW of Dan Harper, but a time penalty to be applied at the end of the race. He's working his way back into the mix there. Around the outside of the traffic goes Aurelian Panis, but he is trying to fend off the attack, isn't he, of Jamie Day? The Silver Cup lead absolutely together. 10 Mercedes, 21 Aston. Jamie Day squirts up the inside. They almost rub. Jamie Day gets very nearly hip and shouldered onto the curb. He does get run out wide, but he's not lying down, and he takes the class lead. Brave stuff. Jamie Day leads in silver, and that was well deserved.
I think that was a move. It's going to be investigated, isn't it, for overtaking off the track. Why was he off the track? Because I think Panis eased him off there. Panis getting held up by Villagomez in the Aston Martin. It's fourth position, not for class, but Villagomez within his right to defend here. I think that was a very good move from Jamie Day. Both cars off track. I think fair. Let's see what race control say.
Now Chris Lullen makes his move for the lead in gold, and he's done it. He's got his nose in front. Paul Everard tries to get back in behind and dive to the inside, but he can't do it. And a drive-through penalty for Valentino Rossi for speeding in the pit lane. A drive-through for the car in second place. That's going to help Lucas Auer.
Yep, 45 seconds that's going to cost him. It's going to drop him somewhere to 28th position or so after they've served it. And I think it was Marcello coming into pit lane. As he got to the line, he accelerated to get up to the limiter, but it was like the limiter wasn't latched. And I think for a moment he was over the 50 Ks. There's GPS speed in pit lane, so the car would have pinged to race controllers. Everyone looks to the inside more as a distraction than a real move. But Lullemus got a mega drive out of 6 to get that, and the car serves its penalty down to 50k, and this is going to be 45 seconds, 620 meters, second longest pit lane. And yeah, I just think on the entry, Marcello, let's listen in. I'm going to stop talking, listen to the car accelerate after the 50k board. Just heard the revs rise up, and that gap got smaller as Kirchhoffer was sat at 50. I think he's got to get back on the power, and the limiter potentially not latched, and the car just accelerated, and by the time Marcello realised, it was too late.
And since the BMW of Valentino Rossi skipped out of the way and is down in 21st place, it's given a clear bit of road to Lucas Auer. He's using lots of curb. He's hustling on in pursuit of Benji Goethe, heading now up towards the hairpin at turns 4 and 5. The gap as they came across the line was 7/10 of a second. We have got 7.5 minutes to go, and Lucas Auer trying to work out where he can force the issue. Where can he get a mistake out of that McLaren? Where is the Mercedes that much stronger? Maybe the move is going to be down the back part of the circuit, but it's got to start here at turn 8 to get close enough all the way around this next loop.
We go for a replay here on an Audi versus Lambo battle into turn 8. There's contact there, and that's going to be a penalty for the 66 car.
Yeah, that's the Dylan Pereira driven Audi. Here are the race leaders, nose to tail, and it remains then just Benji Goethe ahead. Again, Lucas Auer trying to work out where he can make that move, but he's got to have a good run all the way now through turns 9 and 10. A good exit onto this fast back part of the circuit. This is where, in theory, the grunt of that Mercedes AMG should help, but now he's done the hard yards of getting so close. It's just finding that last couple of tenths, isn't it, to be able to make that dive. Equally, Lucas Auer doesn't want to commit to a move that's not going to work and risk finishing or get a penalty. He wants to either bank second place points unless a move is definitely on for the lead. So here, is it going to be a win? It will be the first for Marvin Kirchhoffer, the first for Benji Goethe, coming up towards the timing line once again. And now over the line goes Kirchhoffer in that McLaren. Lucas Auer behind him in second spot. The margin 0.3 of a second last time around. It's gone up to just under half a second this time. It would be the first outright win as well in sprint for this 720. The last McLaren win was the 650S, so lots of firsts coming up if he can hang on in there. We've got 1 minute and 23 on the clock, so there is this lap and one more. They did squeeze through with another lap to do. That helps Auer, of course.
Yeah, it gives him a whole another 4.2 kilometres, 16 corners of a go at it. But I just don't think he's got the pace now. I think he's used everything to catch up, and I think the McLaren's got this. Goethe just needs to hit his marks, every braking point, every apex, every throttle, every gear, like he's been practicing the sim for the weeks leading to this event. That's all he needs to do.
And the sim on which he practices is, as befits Rothko, the Gulf livery sim. But a little mistake made by both, I think. They're going up through 9 into 10. The Mercedes just seems to squirm underneath Lucas Auer, and the McLaren is absolutely on the ragged edge as well. In sector 1 of this lap, Lucas Auer was quicker, fractionally. They're heading down that back straight towards Cavoni, the kink at turn 11, and through that second sector, Goethe is faster by 300, so they are so evenly matched. Can Goethe hang on? He's got one more lap to squeeze out of this. Up the curb, coming out of 13 they go. Now to the hairpin. Again, Auer is close, almost in the back of the McLaren.
It's so close. Come on, Benji. I want this. The underdog story for the McLaren is going to be mega if he can hang on. Lucas Auer keeps showing his nose, just trying to distract. Look at the clock ticking down, and he goes super wide. That's one of his track limits. That's fine. He's still got one more to go. Here we go. Last lap.
But in running wide there, did he lose momentum? Does that give a chance to Mauro Engel? Lucas Lucas Auer rather. One more lap to go. Down into turn 1, 2, 3 they come. That Mercedes getting closer and closer and closer. Lucas Auer has had the last 4 or 5 laps staring at the back of that McLaren, knowing where it is weak, where he is strong, but a mistake out of the Mercedes opened up the gap. Auer late on the brakes. It's a bit scrappy this last lap, isn't it? And at the moment that McLaren looking ever so slightly more stable and therefore stronger. To the back straight they come once again. It is still the McLaren ahead. Marvin Kirchhofer last had a win in 2019, in fairness, when he was sharing with Ricky Collard in that SRO Motorsports Aston Martin, and right into the back of the McLaren. Lucas Auer late on the brakes. Contact averted just. So Marvin Kirchhofer looking for a second Sprint Cup win. He's first in the McLaren, and I think that's possibly just about done it. Lucas Auer closing up on the brakes up at turn 9, but yeah, the McLaren's going to sprint away.
Mercedes are going to be lighter because Auer's thrown the kitchen sink at it. That was it. That was his Hail Mary into turn 8. It was worth a go. It hasn't paid off. There's no chance now, I don't think, in Sector 3 for the 48 car. It's still a mega result and very good for their championship.
So Marvin Kirchhofer heading up towards a win, it seems, courtesy of Benji Goethe's last stint. It will be a first outright race win for Benji Goethe in GT World Challenge Europe. A good outright win for Garage 59, a first outright win for the McLaren 720S. So here he comes then. Benji Goethe has driven a fantastic stint to fend off the reigning champion, Lucas Auer. Checkered flag at the ready, and it's a win for Garage 59 for McLaren, for Benji Goethe and Marvin Kirchhofer. A delighted team. Andrew Kokodi's squad over the moon. Marvin Kirchhofer breathes a massive sigh of relief. Second, Lucas Auer, Amaro Engel, Patrick Niederhauser and Sven Muller third. Benji Goethe's defence, excellent, as you see there. The winning car in gold, Chris Lulham, well clear of Paul Everard by the end of the race. This is the winning silver. Jamie Day and Kobe Powerball started on pole, but they made it hard for themselves. But the Aston Martin of Comptiou prevails, and it wins. And that's going to leave us with the bronze winning Loris Spinelli and Dimitri Gvatsova to come home. That was the longest ever 1 hour race. It took 3 hours, 18 minutes. And there, look, 3 wide up towards the line in gold. Tom Fleming alongside the BMWs with Maxime Osten and also Jens Klingman involved in that. Up to the line, though, the bronze winning Dimitri Gvatsova, Loris Spinelli. Lamborghini comes across the line to take class honours. Loris Spinelli bringing it home. Some great racing all the way through the field. And it may have taken a long time to get going again, but great race. So, as far as the race is concerned, Benji Goethe and Marvin Kirchhofer victorious by half a second. Lucas Auer and Mauro Engel second from Patrick Niederhauser and Sven Muller third. Alessio Rovera and Vincent Abril fourth ahead of Charles Wirtz, Kelvin van der Linde, Maxime Martin sixth with Lucas Stoll. Seventh to win gold, Chris Lulham and Thierry Vermeulen. Ninth to win silver, Jamie Day and Kirby Powerballs. And in 26th place to win bronze, Loris Spinelli and Dimitri Gvatsova. The winning drivers then will head in short order up to the podium, and Benji Goethe and Marvin Kirchhofer celebrating their first win together, and Marvin Kirchhofer's first sprint victory as a McLaren driver, winning, as I said earlier on, with Ricky Collard in the SRO Motorsport Aston Martin, going back to Nürburgring. So there, the other half of the result, as it were. 26th, Loris Spinelli and Dimitri Gvatsova winning in bronze from Arthur Rougier and Isaac Tutumlu, Bashar Maldini and Bastien Bus finishing third in the class. So the significant retirements. We lost Luke Hartog and Isham Pires, and they got as far as lap 28, and of course early on. And now, along with Benji Goethe, they can celebrate a win. And again, to make the point, Benji Goethe has had success in his class, but that is his biggest outright win to date. He was silver champion in endurance going back to 2022, but now he's an outright race winner, and that's going to feel very special.
Yeah, huge. He'll wake up tomorrow morning and almost you have to go, was it real? And then he'll realise it is, and I deserve to be on this world stage. And now they can push on for a proper championship hunt as well now.